When embarking on one's personal cigar smoking journey, there are always a few cigars that stand out as the gateway cigars, or the ones that open up the doors to expanding one's passion for cigars. As I learn and explore more and more, I always find a new cigar brand or style that pushes me up the ladder to more knowledge and enthusiasm. Here are 3 cigars that are my gateway cigars that are accessible, affordable, and that I still love today. Perdomo 10th Anniversary Champagne was my very first premium cigar, and its crystal-like look definitely intrigued a 22-year-old me. Medium-bodied, this cigar is deceptively rich, giving off flavors of charred oak and vanilla. It smokes smoothly and without interruption in the draw, and it finishes with a fantastic caramel aroma. It's wrapped with Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper and Cuban seed, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan filler. At a mere $10 for the Robusto cigar, it's an incredible value and crowd pleaser. There are also a Maduro and sun-grown version of this cigar that feature bourbon barrel-aged Connecticut wrappers that are absolutely worth a try. Speaking of bourbon, I think a Boulevardier cocktail is the perfect pairing to the cedar elements and honey smoothness of the 10th Anniversary Champagne. The Boulevardier is a cocktail that was invented during American Prohibition by an American in Paris named Erskine Gwynn. This cocktail is one of my favorite cocktails. It's classic, it's bitter, it's sweet, it's perfect. The proportions can vary depending upon how strong you want the cocktail, but I will make it with 1 ounce of Campari, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, preferably Carpano Antica, and 2 ounces of bourbon. You can also use rye. Stir it in a stir. Pour it into a glass with a large ice cube. This cocktail obviously can also be served up. The original recipe called for a cherry as a garnish, but in this case, it's always a good idea to use an orange peel for the Boulevardier. To go full-bodied is the natural progression of the cigar smoking journey, and one of my favorites of the last many years is the Oliva Serie V Melanio. The Robusto version of this cigar is just an absolute pleasure to smoke every single time. It's a full-bodied and elegant cigar with espresso and candied nut notes with some peppery flavors, and it finishes with this unique creme brulee-like finish. It's a perfect draw, and the shape, thanks to the box pressing, makes it a really great feeling cigar. The Melanio has an Ecuadorian wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. The smaller vitolas start at around $10, but you can spend upwards of $20 depending upon the size. Now let's get real specific with this pairing. The last time I enjoyed this cigar, I had it with the Firestone Anniversary Ale. Now, if you're not familiar with those guys, then get familiar. Every year, Firestone Walker, a brewery in Southern California, makes their barrel-aged Anniversary Ale. It's a blend of barrel-aged beers and barley wines crafted by local winemakers in the San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara areas. Every blend is a unique and interesting flavor profile, and in some ways these beers are my favorite to pair with any cigar. The first ever blend was made for their 10th anniversary, and I was lucky enough to drink one at release. But the 2019 vintage is currently at the top of my list as my favorite blend in a very long time. Back when I first started smoking cigars, there was a shop around the corner from where I worked. And because traffic was so bad getting home, sometimes I would just relax and wait for it to die down. The owner suggested to me the 1999 Connecticut on my very first visit in, and I loved it from the start. The Patel 99 Connecticut features a 7-year aged Connecticut wrapper with Nicaraguan and Dominican filler. It's most definitely a mild cigar, but the flavors are rich with butterscotch and creamy notes at the front with some walnut and fresh coffee on the finish. The draw certainly feels a little tighter than some, but I really don't mind a little bit of resistance at first, but as the cigar warms up, it really becomes a pleasure to smoke. And at $7 to $10 per cigar, it's an affordable way to get introduced to the Rocky Patel brand. Pairing this cigar with a cup of coffee or espresso early in the day is a great way to go, but if you're looking for a beer to enjoy, I really like a Belgian brown or a barley wine ale. The Delirium Nocturnum is a great choice in this case. No matter where you are in knowledge and understanding of cigars, these three selections are a fantastic choice for starters and the experienced alike. What's equally amazing is that these producers have kept such massively high standards in their cigar making that you can enjoy these cigars today just as they were when they first debuted.